Good morning, folks. We are coming to you this morning from Jackson, Wyoming. We're excited. Why are we excited?
Because we are going to go see the Tetons. I am very excited about that.
We are getting ready to see the Grand Tetons, and we're going to go through the national park. And the weather is beautiful right now. There was a question about some rain, but right now it's looking good. So are we excited about seeing the Tetons?
Very.
We've come a long way and talked about this for years, so today's the day. So hopefully we're going to bring you some beautiful video from the Grand Teton National Park just north of Jackson, Wyoming. So stay with us. Back out on the road, and we are seeing our first view of the Tetons just coming into Jackson, Wyoming, and they look pretty majestic, and that's all we can see of them right now. But all right, wave at the camera. Where are you?
I'm in the Grand Teton National
Turn left at Moose Junction. You're actually in the national park. Now, something surprising to me was that the airport is after you cross into the national park, the Jackson Airport. So you drive a pretty good little ways, and then you turn at Moose Junction to go to the visitor center and get the national park pass.
I think it's straight.
Yeah, straight ahead. You're right. So we're going down to the visitor center now. We're going to get the America the Beautiful National Park pass because we're going to be seeing 3 national parks this week. So it saves us about $20. Is that right?
That's right.
So we're going to go in here and check out the visitor center in Grand Teton. This is the Craig Thomas Discovery and Visitor Center in Grand Teton National Park. And it is from 8 to 5 daily. So here is the inside of the visitor center. Okay, so as you walk into the visitor center, over here is the information desk, and just to the right of that's where you get your permits, like the backcountry. Here's a so let's look at this view just out the window here at the visitor center. The only one that's covered in clouds is the peak, Grand Teton, the highest peak in the park. This tells a little bit about the rock types, the forest. A moose, which we're hoping to see. Didn't see one at the motel last night. There's a moose. Oh no, that's Shaughnessy. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Just the way your hair was, it kind of reminded me of the antlers. They also have wolves. I know Yellowstone has grizzlies. I don't know if Tetons do or not. I don't know why they wouldn't. They're close together. This is the inside of the visitor center, and I'm not going to go over and show everything. I'm actually going to walk over into the little gift shop area. The weather, they're expecting today high 71, low tonight 40. This is July 1st. Low tomorrow night, 39. So over here is a little gift shop area. So I'm going to step over here, see what they have. Looks like your typical National Park Visitor Center. Very much like Sugarlands or Econolofty or Cades Cove in the Smokies. Some nice t-shirts there. One of the most famous pictures you will ever see in any Google search of the Grand Tetons has a barn in the foreground, and that is the T.A. Moulton barn. There's another one that you see quite a bit too, and I think that was his brother, John Moulton. We're going to show you both of them right now. First, here's the T.A. Moulton barn with the Grand Tetons as the backdrop. Just down from the T.A. Moulton barn is the barn built by his brother John Moulton, and here it is, very close to one another. If you're coming in from the south, you turn right on, what was that, Antelope Flats? Yeah. And you go down to the intersection called Moran Junction, and turn right for T.A. Moulton, turn left for John Moulton. Might as well see them both when you're here. Just amazing scenery. What was it? One of those little chipmunks?
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing's everywhere out here. I'll be showing you different views and turnouts along the way. This is the glacier view turnout. I'm going to try to hope one of these placards tells us why it's called that, and I will show you the view from it. Just a slightly different angle from what you've already been seeing. I don't think this is the one that's going to tell us. There's another one down there though. So this is what the glacier view turnout looks like. So let's walk on down there. There's another placard. So basically, according to the placard here, there's several glaciers. There's the Middle Teton Glacier. There's the TP Glacier, which I will be showing you these, and then the Teton Glacier. Yes, that is a plane you hear, because oddly enough, the Jackson Airport is in the national park. So we've seen several planes landing today. So this is the Middle Teton Glacier. Then the TP Glacier. Grand Teton is still in the clouds. It's the only one that is. And then that one's called the Teton Glacier. I'm not sure. I'm going to put that back out just for a second. Okay, right there, that's the Teton Glacier. Is Grand Teton, 13,755 feet. And then Mount Owen, 12,933 feet. Just want to make y'all aware of some things. If you've enjoyed the video up to this point, there's an entry fee for Grand Teton, and we haven't paid it yet. The gate, this is very different than any national park or even what we were expecting. The airport, Jackson Airport, is located after you pass the signs for the national park. everything we've seen so far,
Up in this video that you've seen so far.
you can see for free. If you're staying in Jackson, you can theoretically do everything we've done so far, turn around and go back and say you've been to Grand Teton. They said the gate is on up. See, we're going to get the National Parks pass. We don't need it in the Smokies because there's no entry fee. But we're going to be seeing 3 national parks this week, so it's going to save us about $20, I think. So, but quite honestly, I thought we had to pay before we even got to see anything.
Yeah, because we were riding along and we were like, we ain't paid nothing.
But if you're coming up out of Jackson, you can see everything to the video in this point and not be charged. The barns, that's very famous. That's one of the most famous shots of Grand Teton you're ever going to see is the Moulton barns.
Yeah.
You can see that without paying a dime. So I just want to let everybody know that because we have still not reached the gate where you pay the admission. Now, I guess if you want to do the lakes and things like that, then that's where we're going to have to pay. But we still don't know where the gate is. We've been 10, 15 miles in the national park. We still haven't reached the gate where you pay.
I'm very, very surprised, but
yeah. So just want to let y'all know that if you don't want to pay it, you can go this far and not have to. So anyway.
Okay, so we were just riding along and happened to look out and just see this massive herd of bison. There's just a few on the other side of the road, just 3 or 4, but get a little bit of a closer shot of you.
On this side of the road, there's looks like 4. That's one of the things we were hoping to see this trip, but didn't expect to see them until we were in Yellowstone. Fees, one private vehicle $35, motorcycles $30. Grand Teton annual $70 if you're going to come a lot. So anyway, there's the pricing information, and we are at Grand Teton National Park Moran entrance station. Okay, we turn left at Moran Junction, and this is evidently where you pay the admission fee. So everything you've seen up until this point you can see without paying, but then if you go further, if you want to go into Yellowstone, this is where you have to do it. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and purchase the National Park Pass. Again, 3 national parks this week. We come out doing that. We never need it at home with the Smokies, but most national parks do charge an admission fee. Okay, so we've hit a little bit of a rainstorm. We knew that might happen. We're very thankful that that it held off as long as it did. We got some excellent shots. So what we're going to do, in Grand Teton there's an outer loop and an inner loop. So since the weather has turned bad, we're actually going to wait and do the inner loop when we come back down, either tomorrow or the next day. We haven't decided yet. Depends on how much of Yellowstone we get to see today and tomorrow. But we're going to head on up to Yellowstone now and check into our motel. And we'll do the inner loop of Grand Teton when we come back. But notice how even though some of the mountains are getting rained on, there's still some that are in the sun. Like if you look over there to the left, that's still in the sun. The sun's hitting that peak. This is just a place of amazing beauty. It looks like the showers have ended, at least for the time being. Now we've just pulled off at the Lakeview picnic area, and look at this view right here. So we are back in Grand Teton National Park. We did the first leg of this video yesterday. We've done Yellowstone since then, and now we're coming back to do what we call the inner part, but you call it, what is the name of it on the map?
On the map, the name of the road was Teton Park Road.
Teton Park Road. And basically Grand Teton National Park, you drive up the first section of it, which is what we did, and you didn't have to pay for a long time. Then finally you reach the gate, and then you drive Teton Park Road. So we did not get to see that yesterday evening, but we're going to see it today and just attach that to that part of the video. So this is day 2 of Grand Teton National Park. So that's Mount Moran right in front of you. That's the one that famously casts a glow upon the water at certain times of day and when the water's calm, which it's not. The water's pretty choppy, so we're not going to get that glow, especially this time of day.
He has got some massive horns on him. Wow.
Okay, so on the Teton Park Road, we pulled off at what is called Mountain View Turnout. So this affords a very, very beautiful and majestic view of the Tetons. And there is Grand Teton, which I think is 13,770 feet roughly. This is the park that I have wanted to see for years. Still kind of hard to believe I'm standing right here in it. This is Jenny Lake.
Just here, we're going to get more of them.
Some pretty beautiful shots right here.
Well, what I would do is I would just slide now.
No.
But then I get on the phone to keep going down, so on down.
Okay, so we're going to check out the Jenny Lake Visitor Center if it's still open. We're not sure. It's a little after 6, but got a nice looking little facility here. Looks like there's a visitor center. There's a campground. A couple other buildings too. Not sure what they are. It is open. So that's good because she's wanting her a Grand Teton shirt. We got a few snacks in here, just all kinds of little souvenirs. Okay, everybody, we this past week we have been out west, as you know. We got home about 1 o'clock this morning. Our plane landed a little bit after 10 in Charlotte, and this week we were very rushed and we were very full scheduled, if that's the way to put it. So there's a lot of things we either didn't have time at the time to do a closeout on, or we just flat out forgot. Well, this is
Moved
one.
on to the next thing.
Yeah, so there are a few of those too. We want to give our closeout now at Grand Teton National Park. We did do a closeout of Rocky Mountain as we were coming down, which is the way we should have done it. We had to record one for Yellowstone, which will be in a separate video. We did that on the interstate in Colorado morning before yesterday. We thought we had done one for Teton, but when I got home to look for it, I couldn't find it. So we're going to do it right here from our living room.
And so that way I can wear my Grand Teton
You can wear that, absolutely. So we want to give you our thoughts about Grand Teton National Park. So as usual, Shaughnessy, I'm going to let you go first and give your impressions of it, like from the first time you saw it, the anticipation leading up to it, whether you were let down or whether it was everything you wanted, and then just take it for the top.
So I was super, super excited. Honestly, that was what I was most excited about on this trip. Growing up, my mom could paint, and she liked to paint, and she always talked about the mighty Tetons. And so that's just what kept going through my mind. Now, whether Mom had actually been there, I'm going to assume yes, but to say it for a fact, I don't know. I wish I could ask her. So I'm going to show this one I said about my mom and the mighty Teton. So this is something that she painted, and I remember her talking about the mighty Tetons on it. So I'll just slowly kind of turn it. She used to paint stuff, and she would paint it.
And
like
I'm thinking
all the
there's
way
another
around.
painting. I don't think it. I know it. I just don't know where it's at. I thought we had it. Maybe one of our sons has it.
I can't place what he's referring
But there was
to.
a painting she did of the Tetons as the backdrop.
Yeah.
And after she passed, I know some of her family came down and took some of her pictures. We got a couple of them. I think our boys did. So I don't know where that one ended up.
But anyway, I remember this as a child. Mom always talking about the mighty Tetons, and I always thought of this bottle here that she had painted. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. This is Mom's mighty Tetons. But yeah, that was amazing. So when we got there, just seeing them breaking into view, it was amazing. They were beautiful. We did mention, in the video too, the first loop, which I think is Highway 191 if I remember correctly, is actually a main road through the national park. You don't pay until you kind of curve, you go kind of away from them.
To Moran Junction.
Yeah, and then you pay. Now you can continue on and make a left turn that actually goes into the inner part. We called it the inner part of the loop, and that's where you pay. And you also pay if you're going to go on that same road to Yellowstone, which is what we did. So the day started off kind of cloudy, or I shouldn't say kind of cloudy, sunny, few clouds. But as we kind of were going towards the end, we could see the rain coming in. So we decided to wait and finish the inner loop on our way back through after Yellowstone, which I think was the right choice.
Yeah, it was.
So absolutely beautiful. If you're ever in the area, definitely go. On our way back through, it was a beautiful sunny day. Sun was kind of behind the mountain, so when you were taking your pictures, you were kind of taking it into the sun, but the views were spectacular. I did think on the inner loop that you would be amongst them, to where they'd be on both sides of you. They're not. They're still behind Jenny Lake, which we stopped at. Thought it was beautiful. I mean, no complaints. It was everything I wanted it to be. And I actually had a little list that I had printed out of all the pull-offs that I wanted to see, which we did, and they had them well marked. Teton had them well marked ahead of time that a pull-off was coming up. I enjoyed it very much. I think it's very well worth the drive-through to see it.
Okay, would you do it again?
I would.
Okay.
I definitely would.
Yeah, like she said, that was the one I think that we were looking the most forward to before the trip. We had done Rocky Mountain National Park before, even though the weather the first time was not that great. It was much better this time, giving us much better views. I think this is the one we were anticipating the most, and because we'd never been to it, nor Yellowstone. So we got to Jackson, Wyoming. We at the beginning of this video, that's where we open up, and you can see the sign. Then just beyond that sign, you can kind of see the tops of them above the hill that's in the foreground. So that kind of added to the excitement. You don't see them as you're approaching them at all, not from the south anyway. So once you get out of Jackson, Wyoming, you pretty much enter Teton National Park. It is very different than what I expected as far as the way it's set up. Like here we have the Great Smoky Mountains. It is completely wilderness. There's one lodge in the park and the rest are campgrounds. That's your only accommodations. which there really are. I don't guess there's accommodations in Grand Teton except for the same thing, but there's an airport. The Jackson, Wyoming airport is actually in the national park. That was a surprise. I was expecting it to be outside of Jackson, but it's actually after you cross into where it says Grand Teton National Park, then there's the airport a couple of miles in. So there are times when you're looking at those mountains and you'll see a plane coming in. So I think maybe recorded once of that. That's not, I didn't go to record airplanes there. I went to record the mountains, but I did want to show you how it was. As we drove along, I bet we drove 15 miles or better without paying a dime. So that's laid out in order in this video, because I thought it was going to be right as you enter in, there's the gate, you pay. We had already said we were going to get the America the Beautiful National Parks pass. It costs $80. You only need one per vehicle. And we were going to be seeing 3 national parks, 2 at $35 entrance fees and 1 at $30, so that's $100. So we were going to save $20 by getting it. And here we're driving like 15 miles past where we entered the national park. We still haven't paid a dime yet. So everything you see up until the point where we get to the gate, you could see for free. The very famous scene that you see anytime you Google Grand Teton, you're going to see the Moulton barn there with the mountains in the background. You could see that and turn around and go back to Jackson and not pay anything. So I want you to be aware of that. You don't have to pay to see the whole thing. You do have to pay if you want to do, like she said, the inner loop. The gate is at Moran Junction. I guess there's one at the south end as you exit too.
Yeah.
But you don't get that going in on 191. So we basically got to see a lot of it for nothing. In fact, as far as the bison, I was just hoping we'd see a couple of bison. And I thought we would see them in Yellowstone. We went by up to a field, and there's probably 300 of them in that field to the right. And there's 4 across the road on the left side with the mountains as a backdrop. The other ones, you have to look away from the mountains. That's before we even got to Yellowstone. We saw several more in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So a lot of bison. But the words to describe when we first got in the park, I don't know, either stunning, majestic, unbelievable, whatever word comes to mind, that's what was going.
It's a wow factor.
That's what was going. Yeah, that's what was going through my mind. The height of them, just the jaggedness of them, the glaciers, the snow that's trapped into the crevices there. In July, I was worried, is there still going to be any snow? You know, there was. You know, I'm sure there would have been a lot more a month ago, but when you're coming in the middle of July, to see snow at all is still pretty exciting. Actually, Pikes Peak, we were there on late June. Yesterday, you look it up on Facebook, July 5th, not yesterday, on July 5th, it snowed again on Pikes Peak. There's people out there walking with the snow falling. So it's just, it can snow any time in those mountains. So the weather was beautiful starting off. The high that day may have reached 60, 62. The lows at night were about upper 30s to around 40 degrees. We spent the night in West Yellowstone, Montana. It got down to 37 degrees there. So it was just, the Grand Tetons are something else. But I do want to tell you how it's laid out. You can drive a significant way and not pay. It's when you turn at Moran Junction and do the inner part, that's when you pay the fee to enter in. So,
and it's worth it to do that, in my opinion.
it is. It really is worth it. And again, if you're going to be doing at least 3 national parks, then the pass pays for itself. So you're better off just to get the pass. And you get the pass at the gate where you pay. You don't get them in the visitor center, surprisingly enough. You get them at the gate where you pay the entrance fee.
Yeah, because we actually stopped at the visitor center thinking we needed to get
thinking that's
there.
where you would get them. They said no.
No, it's at the gate. And then too, if you're also, I think they have a senior pass, military, I don't remember what else, but you can get discounts on it as well.
Yeah.
We didn't qualify for any of those, but.
So, you know, our video is not as informative maybe as some. There is a YouTube channel called, what is it? We're in the Rockies.
We're in the Rockies. They're really
I
good.
encourage you, if you want to go there, watch ours too, because I think we did a good job capturing the scenery of this. But they are very knowledgeable. It's a husband and wife. They know Yellowstone and the Tetons like the back of their hand.
They live somewhere out there, and they visit there regularly, so they got a lot of insider tips.
We watched them before we went, to be honest with you. So they can tell you what's what and where to go. But I would want to encourage you. To me, the highlights was going out to the 2 barns. If you're coming from the south, you turn right on something antelope, I believe.
Flat antelope?
Antelope Flats, something like that. You turn right there, then it goes down and you hit a junction called Moran Junction, and you turn to the right to see the T.A. Moulton, or you turn to the left to see the John Moulton barn. They're really right there within a stone's throw of each other. Might as well see them both. The Tetons are beautiful. You don't climb up into them. You basically, you stay flat and stay down low, and you just look at how they rise up above the landscape, and they're very jagged. It's just it's
Amazing.
different than the other Rocky Mountains we've been to. So that's our review of Grand Teton National Park. It is one I would highly recommend. It's not a big national park. You
No.
can see it in a day easily, unlike Yellowstone, where you need at least 2 days bare minimum. More
And this,
than likely
and
3.
even doing it in a day and
Yeah.
having plenty of time, you could pull off every
You
overload.
could, that, and you could do it twice in a day if you want to
Yeah.
be real about it. So, yeah, so we did the first half on day 1. The storms came in. We went on up to Yellowstone, did a little bit in Yellowstone. When we came back through the next evening is when we did the second part, and that's noted in the video as well. So anyway, we want to thank y'all for watching this video. We hope you enjoy the spectacular scenery of God's creation. I don't know how anybody looks at that and thinks that's a product of evolution or millions of years of just accidents happening. Folks, Bible says there was a flood. There was a worldwide flood that caused a lot of the geographical upheavals and things that we see today. I would notice, I would notice some of the layers of strata in certain areas. I don't remember where we were, but I was noticing that you talk about the different layers, and they'll try to tell you that each one of those is millions of years old and formed over time. But they go like this in some places, or they're at an angle like this. That's the result of a catastrophe and things being forced upwards by the force of water. So anyway, I'm gonna throw that in there because when I see that, I'm wowed by the power of God, and that's not a natural occurrence. That's the handiwork of the Creator. And when you look at the Tetons, it's just inspiring.
It is.
So anyway, I hope y'all like this video. If you like this video, like and subscribe,
And find and follow us on Facebook.
and have a blessed day.